He was terrific. I do think they're going to get an NBA season in. I do. I think it's going to be playoffs only. That's about the only thing we disagree with. I think they'll just manage it. I think smart people manage stuff, and Adam Silver's really, really smart. So there you go. But I really appreciated that. I hope you enjoyed it. Bob Costas yesterday. Or that was Monday. Mark Cuban, Coach K, Coach Krzyzewski is joining me tomorrow. We're doing these long, like 25, 30-minute interviews in our second hour because I'm mostly doing a radio show now, because I'm in a radio studio. It's simulcast on FS1. Please watch. But we're kind of changing things up. We don't have games, and you're responding and saying you like it. So there you go. Here's Joy with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herdline News, sponsored by Mercedes-Benz.
By the way, Joy,
best or nothing.
Did you notice, Joy, I got a new shirt today?
I did notice you have a new shirt. It looks very good.
Have you ordered new stuff? So when you go...
I have not. You guys are probably going to get T-shirt joy on the Herd when I get a camera, which will probably be happening this week. Hopefully happening this week.
Yeah.
But yeah. So you're gonna get the casual joy probably.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is very exciting for me. You talked about this earlier. The Dolphins are in desperate need of a franchise quarterback and may be willing to move up in the draft to do that. And according to the Miami Herald, they will try to trade with the Bengals to get the number one pick. They have 14 total picks this year, including 3 in the first round.
You could give Cincinnati both. You could give Cincinnati all 3 of your picks. You could say, you get ours at 5, and then take our other 2 ones. We'll give you 3 first-round picks this year.
Yep.
I mean, I don't think it'll happen, but I wonder if that's ever happened in the history of the league, where a team had 3 first-round picks and gave a team all of them. Because if you got Burrow, you got enough picks the rest of the way, you're fine. God,
Yeah.
well, Cincinnati could get 3 first. Well, they had 2 additional picks, and they probably, frankly, they'd want the following year's number 1 pick as well. And they're not going to do it, but God, that's fascinating.
14 picks?
I know. Well, listen.
Even if you gave him 3 first-round picks and then 2 later picks, how can you turn that down?
This is why Brian Flores is mimicking Bill Belichick. First thing he does, builds a culture. Second thing, solves his cornerbacks. Third thing, accumulate draft picks. Or you could
I don't know if I told you this. I can't remember if I told you this or not. Did I tell you I saw Brian Flores at NFL Honors during Super Bowl week? So I went to NFL Honors. I got to my seat, and Don Shula is in my row.
Yeah.
So it's Don Shula and Brian Flores. And I told Brian Flores that we are big fans and that we talk about him often on the show.
Yeah.
We're very impressed with what he's done with the team so far. Which I am. And I love that they've put together all these picks. And I'm holding out hope until it is announced at the draft that Burrow is drafted by the Bengals, that Miami will make a trade.
It should be noted, I don't think any of these teams, Joy, I don't think they're going to make a trade till draft day. Because the Chargers in Miami, if they want the same guy,
right,
they don't want to be the first to make a move. Like, the only way you could guarantee you'd get your quarterback, not Joe Burrow, would be either 1 or 2. So I think we're going to have I think this is going to be the most entertaining first hour of the NFL draft it's ever had.
There's going to be massive trades, and I really do not think that Miami is sold on Tua.
Yeah.
Because if this is leaking...
Yeah, that's right. They want it leaked. This leaks this leaks. Stuff only leaks when somebody wants it leaked.
Right. So we'll talk more about this story this afternoon on Joy Chats on Caffeine. Free app. Go download it. We'll be live at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. So the Steelers traded away their 2020 first-round pick when they acquired Minkah Fitzpatrick from the Dolphins. And GM Kevin Colbert says the team is very happy with that decision. He said that under the current circumstances, they're much more comfortable having an established all-pro player in Fitzpatrick than dealing with the uncertainty of taking a player that they may not have all the information on that they usually would. They have 6 picks in the draft, and their earliest pick is in the second round, number 49. They also said it's highly unlikely that they trade back up into the first round. So according to mock drafts, Todd McShay has Jacob Eason going to the Steelers. That's pretty low. I think he'll probably get taken before that. And CBS has Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the running back from LSU, going to the Steelers. I agree with this theory. While I like the way that the Dolphins set themselves up because they are in a complete and utter rebuild, if you're someone like the Steelers, you don't need to hoard up draft picks. Having Minkah Fitzpatrick, a known commodity, over, especially in this draft.
And he's a playmaking defensive player. He's not just good. He's a playmaker. He's an Ed Reed kind of I can get you points. I can turn the ball over. He makes plays, not just bats down passes.
Right. He's absolutely a disruptor. So having someone like him, an all-pro, that you know what you're going to get from him, as opposed to, especially in this draft where you aren't going to be able to do your research in a traditional fashion, this was a good move for the Steelers. So Drew Brees agreed to a 2-year, $50 million deal in the offseason to stay with the Saints. But when Sean Payton was discussing the quarterback position in New Orleans, he may have accidentally dropped some news about Brees' future.
The unique situation with our team and with our quarterback, Drew Brees, is he's announced he's coming back for his final season. I think Taysom sees himself as being the starting quarterback in this league, and we do too.
But it's a 2-year deal.
Meaning Drew's going to do 1 year with New Orleans and then move to Monday Night Football?
I don't know. Well, he has a $23.65 million cap hit in 2020. So, I mean, like moving forward into next year, he could, because he does have that offer, obviously. But he did sign a 2-year, $50 million deal. But Drew Brees looked great this year after he had that 5 weeks where he was injured and recovering, but his legs looked much better. Now, you and I are kind of on the same page about Taysom. I don't really know if I see him as a franchise quarterback, but the Saints seem to be leaning that way. So Sean Payton may have just misspoke and we're reading too much into it, that he said it's his final season, but I could see this happening and them turning it over to Taysom, who has said he mimics everything that Drew Brees does. And he was on the show with us in Miami and said that Drew Brees is, I mean, he's taught him how to be a pro. He does everything Drew does, but is he Drew Brees? I don't think so.
Good stuff, Joy, with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd
You know,
Line
it's funny. So many people are saying there's no games. What do we talk about? I honestly believe, Joy, the last 10 shows I've done have been as good at 10 radio shows as I've done in my career. There's so much out there. You got to dig a little bit. But we've had such fascinating guests. Bill Simmons today, Bob Costas, Charles Barkley, Mark Cuban. Just every day we've got somebody that's interesting to me. And Mike Krzyzewski is going to be on tomorrow in our second hour. Coming up next, you can't expect people who have a certain way to build their football team to suddenly move off that because of pressure. Fascinating what was unearthed from Bill Belichick. A little secret information is in the hands and now on the internet from 1991 on what Belichick likes out of his quarterbacks. And it tells you a lot about why Bill's not going after some other quarterbacks. That's coming up, The Herd.